Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me live tonight over the festive period. It's not an accident that I've put this out over the festive period. And what I'm going to do tonight, in actual fact, is a little bit different from what I normally do. So I'm not going to do any rabbiting. I'm not going to do any talking, educating, pontificating. Instead, what I want to offer you is a pretty immediate way to get back on your side, to look after yourself, to be kind to yourself, to find a sense of self-love. I called this session the unspeakable truth. Am I unlovable? And I think, it's no accident that I brought this up the time that I have, because I think whilst we're in this period, people often have quite high expectation of what it is that they are looking to achieve. It's a time where we're supposed to be kind to ourselves, kind to others, where there's a sense of peace, goodwill to all men sort of approach, and therefore life should pan out in a certain way. And when things occur that don't fit that mold, they tend to have an exaggerated impact upon us at this time of year than perhaps that they do at other times of the year. That's not to say that I want to dismiss what might happen at other times of the year. I'm just saying that this is a period where people tend to be rather sensitized to it. So this is going out quite specifically to you if you feel a need for self-kindness, for kindness and care and love. If there has been something that has occurred in your relationship over the last few days that has knocked you off kilter, if you feel a little bit as if you're floundering, as if you've lost your core. Maybe you're hurting. Maybe there's a sense of shock. Something has occurred that you failed to anticipate. All the way out to maybe your life feels like it's on fire. Maybe something is occurring which has completely shocked you. You are in a complete state of of I don't know, paralysis, maybe you want to call it, loss. You're at a loss or grief. All this sort of approach where you need to get back on your side. You don't know how to get back on your side. You haven't processed everything that's going on, but there is this sense of alienation and hurt. If any of that relates on whatever level, that's my intention tonight. It's to offer you a way to relate to yourself again, to be kind to yourself, to create a sense of love and self-care inside of you. Because the problem, of course, this idea of am I unlovable, I think it's something which permeates our psyche, but it's putting the responsibility for the loving on somebody else. I think if you can bring yourself to a state of self-care, well, then there's less need to seek it outside of you. You already feel kind of whole inside of yourself. So if any of that makes sense, then it's you that I'm talking to. Okay. When I work one-on-one with an individual, I have the ability to relate to them and they have the ability to relate to me. There is an energetic continuity between the two of us. We express with each other. So therefore, when I'm helping them to find a state of hypnosis inside of them, and when I'm helping them to reevaluate what's going on in their feelings, in their thoughts, I can utilize what they express. I can't do that when I'm streaming on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, okay? Because I can't see you. I don't know what's going on. So my suggestion to you, therefore, is that begin with the expectation that this is going to be an extraordinarily immersive experience, but that it's possible, probable from time to time, that there are things that I say which just kind of you don't relate to, okay? Because obviously it's going to be like that, because I unfortunately don't know who it is that is watching, and I can't observe your responses to my words. So some of the things that I say will just feel great, but other things they might not. And if they don't, just let them go. It doesn't matter at all. Follow my words to the best of your ability. Give it your best shot. If I suggest to you to find a feeling, go find the feeling, okay? And just get out of it what you can. Suck the juice out of it. If you feel that there is a need right now to look after yourself, to relate more kindly to yourself, then I hope that is sufficient motivation already to do so. Okay. Now, obviously, the other thing is normally when I do these things, I kind of guide people into a state of calm, let's say. Now, if there is an element of you which is hurting right now, it might sound stupid for me to try and suggest to you that you find a sense of calm inside of you. Okay. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to instead go a very direct route to helping you to just for a moment compartmentalize that pain or hurt or anxiety or shock or whatever it may be. Just kind of put it over there. Yeah. It hasn't gone completely. You can sit with it, but it's kind of over there instead of here. It feels less like you. It feels more like an element of you, but there's a lot more to you. And so you can relate to the rest of you. You can give yourself a moment of peace and calm and kindness, even though you know that there are feelings out there that maybe you've been struggling with, that maybe you've been fighting against, that you've been trying to push away, feelings that you don't like. Yeah. So let's begin with the principle that this feeling exists. Okay. So it would be absurd for me to simply tell you to relax because it's not going to work. Yeah, because your mind is focused elsewhere. So instead, as I say, I'm going to be quite direct. Therefore, just to the best of your ability, do what it is that I'm suggesting, and then take stock as to whether or not that's working for you. Yeah, go with that. If part of your mind kind of says at the same time, well, this is absurd, that's fine. Let it do that. But we're not talking to that part. That is the chattering, judgmental part of you, which has brought you to where you are right now anyway. So instead, we're wanting to talk to the rest of you. So if that part wants to talk, let it talk. Doesn't matter. Okay. So with that in mind now, let's start. But obviously I need to do this kind of hazard warning just in case. So even though this is live and I'm kind of assuming that everybody is going to be sat down in their home or something like that, I guess it's possible that a few of you might be doing some things at the same time. So what I would say is try and find a place where you can be reasonably sure that you've just got a moment to yourself for 15-20 minutes, okay? Please don't continue listening to my words or watching the screen. If you're driving, if you're operating any kind of machinery, only continue watching or listening to my words when it's completely safe and appropriate to do so. And with that in mind now, what I would suggest, let's do something in your body instead of something in your mind. Yeah. So just put your two hands out in front of yourself. So your hands, let me sit up straight. You can see my hypnotist t-shirt word. So put your hands out straight and they're kind of, they're going to be at sort of chest height, at heart height. And I want you just to put out your two index fingers. So you can kind of make a fist, but those two index fingers are pointing out away from you towards whatever is in front of you. And I want you to press those two fingers out. They're about, what's that? That's probably about 10 centimeters apart. I don't know what that is in inches. Let's say 5 inches, maybe something like that. So those two fingers are about sort of 10 centimeters apart. They're pointing forwards. And I want you to just, almost with your sense of intention, imagine that you were going to press on a light switch with the fingertips. Yeah. So there's a certain pointedness to your fingers. And as you do that, maybe you can notice your pulse in your fingertips. Maybe you can notice, maybe there's a slight movement in between the two fingers. Maybe they're not quite in line. Maybe they're slightly uneven. Maybe they're wobbling slightly. And I want you to notice the temperature of the fingers. And I want you to notice the air around the fingers. And I want you to place your gaze in between those two fingers because I want you to look at both fingers at the same time. And it's impossible to look at both fingers at the same time if you gaze directly at one. So instead, I want you to put your gaze in between the two fingers and then kind of look at that point with a sort of a dreaminess, a sort of a wide, expanded sensation. Because as you expand your peripheral vision, then you can notice both fingers. You can see both fingers. You can get to the point with your peripheral vision where you could see all the way out to the right and all the way out to the left. But I'm only asking you really to expand it as far as you can see both those fingers at the same time. And as you notice that, and you can notice as you imagine that you're pressing on a light switch with those fingers, you can maybe notice your pulse and the fingertips. You can notice the air around each of the fingers. You can notice the temperature of the air around each of those fingers, but you're keeping your gaze in between the two and seeing both at the same time. Whilst you're doing that, I want you to find that feeling that perhaps you don't like, that feeling that is a shock, is a surprise, that shouldn't be there. I want you to find that feeling in your body. Ask yourself, whereabouts in my body is this feeling? Maybe it's a feeling that you've been struggling against, you've been trying to push against. Find that feeling in your body. Whereabouts in that area, that part of your body is it? Whereabouts in particular is that feeling? Notice that feeling and just kind of sit with it. Okay, you don't need to do anything with it, but notice that that feeling exists and that it's in a particular part of your body whilst you're maintaining your gaze on both of those fingers with your focus kind of loose and dreamy. And maybe you can even notice a sort of a peacefulness in between your two eyes as you do that. But you can notice your fingertips, you can notice the length of your fingers, maybe you can even notice the muscles in your fists. Yeah, you can notice the temperature of the air, and then you can focus your attention on that feeling that you've been struggling against, the feeling that you don't like, that's somewhere in your body. Whilst you're doing that, I'd like you now to start counting backwards very, very slowly from 100. Okay, just following my speed on 100 as you notice both of those fingers, as you keep your gaze in between those fingers, and you notice the temperature of the air, you notice the pulse, you notice the feeling in your body. You direct your attention directly to the feeling into your body and what it feels like and where it is in your body on 99. Noticing the feeling in both fingers, seeing both fingers at the same time, noticing the feeling of the air around them, noticing the feeling in your body, noticing exactly where it is in your body and how that feels, and whether it's still or moving, whether it's moving fast or slow, whether it has a temperature, whether it has a texture, whether it has an attitude, wherever it has a certain characteristic that I haven't mentioned on 98. And now at the same time, I'd like you to start counting the alphabet forwards on A and on 97, and focusing your gaze on both of those fingers at the same time, focusing your attention on the fingertips, on perhaps the pulse in the fingertips, noticing the ache in the hands, noticing the feeling in your body on B, on 95, and continuing this process, noticing the feeling in the fingers, noticing the air around the fingertips, noticing the air around the length of the finger, noticing the ache in the hands, noticing the feeling in your body that you've been struggling against and where precisely in your body that is on C, on 95. And now, as you focus your attention on the space between those two fingers, continuing with the counting backwards and the counting forwards and the feeling in your body, I'd like you now to shift your gaze from those two fingers to a point a couple of centimeters in front of both fingers. Focus your attention in between on both fingers at the same time. Stop counting. Stop noticing the feeling in your body if you can. If you can't, just honor it and allow it to sit there. But focus your attention on that place a couple of centimeters in front of both fingers. And notice the stillness in your body. Notice that you can sit with yourself. Notice that there is a certain growing sense of peace, and that a person can always find the place inside of them which is most peaceful. And when you're ready, you can just put your hands down to your sides. And what I would suggest now is that you start moving your big toes and all of the toes. Move them loosely, almost as if you're scrunching through grass. Or perhaps you can imagine you're walking down along the beach, you're walking down towards the water at the seashore. You can see your toes as they scrunch along the sand, and you can actually lift up little pieces of sand under the water as the waves are lapping around your toes, because you're safe. Because here, there is no need for fight, flight, freeze. You can relax the whole of your muscles. You can enjoy that feeling of moving the toes, almost as if they were moving through each grain of sand, lifting the grains of sand into the sea. Maybe you can even imagine little fish, but the water is crystal clear. And that sensation between your eyes that is completely calm. And if you want to do so now, you can close your eyes. And you can stop moving your toes. You can notice a sense of stillness in your arms. And you can notice the place inside of your body that right now feels most at ease. Find the place inside of your body which is most comfortable. A person can always find the place inside of their body which is most comfortable. And with every breath that you exhale, you can allow this sensation to deepen, to become more at ease with yourself, to relate more kindly with yourself, and noticing that sensation inside of you. And if there are other thoughts running in through your head, that's okay. They don't bother you. And if there are any sounds around you, they don't disturb you, because this is a moment just for you. It's a moment for you to look after yourself. It's a moment to spread some kindness throughout the whole of your body. Focus on wherever that place of peace is strongest inside of you. And just for a moment, bathe that part of you in kindness. Send that area all your love, all of your kindness, all of your caring. So that in that little area, wherever it may be in your body, every cell, every nerve, every fiber is bathed in kindness, is bathed in love, because you deserve this as much as anybody else. If you can find a sense of anxiety, fear, concern, equally you can find happiness, simplicity, peace. There is no need to prove this. You already own it. And so as you focus on that place in your body which is most peaceful, allow that sense of peace to expand. Allow it to expand out from wherever it may be, and maybe you can notice a shift in the temperature of your body as you do so, as you allow it to expand out and out and out. And if it helps, you can start moving those toes again, reminding yourself that you're perfectly safe, that there is no need for fight, flight, freeze, that everything is just in this moment safe and comfortable and at ease. Every breath that you breathe in, breathing in peace. Every breath that you breathe out, just exhaling any tension in your body, just being replaced by loose, limp muscles. On a cellular level, just allowing that sensation of kindness to grow. Expanding out that sense of kindness, expanding it out and out and out. Out to every cell in your body, out to your skin, out to your periphery, to the top of your head, to the tips of your toes, bathing yourself from head to toe in kindness. And if you notice any part of you that questions this, there is a part of you which even here in this now is observing what's going on. There is a part of you which has an eternal wisdom. And so if there is an element somewhere that's questioning, allow that part of you that is observing, that is noticing, the noticer of everything that you are noticing. Allow that part to sit down with you and tell you in this moment what you need to know. Almost as if you're looking yourself in the mirror. You're settling down. There's nothing to say, nothing to do, nothing to prove. This is a moment just for you. And you can understand and you can learn. And as you notice that feeling that you've been struggling against, a question, a concern, a rebellion, a fear, teach that part whatever it is that it needs to know. Send it that wisdom. With every breath that you're breathing in peace. Every breath that you exhale, breathing out any remaining unnecessary tension. And see if you can extend your out breaths so they're about twice as long as your in breaths. So maybe breathing into 4, 2, 3, 4. And breathing out for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just sitting with yourself. Just sitting with yourself. Because you deserve it. Because you are everything. Maybe you can even imagine the warmth of the sun, the warmth of the universe. Maybe you have a sense of spirituality that you can also bathe yourself in, something which is greater than you, that is larger than you, something that you can't even explain in words. Or maybe you just want to find the sensation inside of you and expand it, but spread that sensation of kindness and caring to every part of your body, looking after yourself. Just looking after yourself right now in this moment, like your whole life depended upon it. Like this is the most important thing, and you are going to look after it because this is all you've got right now in this moment. Knowing that you can bring back the other thoughts, the other feelings, the other emotions, whenever you choose to do so. But that right now you can sit with yourself and you can observe. And maybe as you observe, you can notice certain thoughts or feelings or messages that couldn't break through the chatter before. And if so, you can breathe into those messages. You can breathe through them. You can sit with them. You don't need to confront them. You can notice them, and maybe you can thank them because they're coming from a very deep part of you. They are your inner wisdom. And so listen, pay attention, and thank it. Bring a sense of curiosity, a sense of wonderment. But with every breath, sending a wave of kindness throughout the whole of you to wherever it is most needed. I'm just going to go quiet for a moment so you can sit with yourself and honor all of you. A person can always find and honor themselves when they choose to do so. I'll just go quiet. You can luxuriate in this piece. And if there's anything that you notice, honor that too. Thank it. Looking after yourself. Bathing in that love. Expanding that love out to every part of your body, every part of your organism, every part of your mind. Spreading it throughout your mind. Spreading it throughout your body. Spreading it throughout your soul, if that makes sense to you. A moment just for you. Now, if you're like me, maybe that feels absolutely tremendous. But remembering that this, even though it's live, it's going to be recorded. So you can come back to it. You can watch it whenever you choose to do in the future. And so for now, in this particular moment, I'm going to invite you to come back up to a state of full and present awareness, bringing with you whatever is most important for you in this moment, because you can carry that with you. Maybe you can even imagine, I don't know, maybe there's a way of kind of embodying it. Maybe you can imagine a token, a crystal, a thought, an essence, and you can slot it in a pocket somewhere around your body that you can draw upon whenever you choose to do so. Safe in the knowledge that you can return to this state, that if need be, you can watch the video as many times as you like to look after yourself, because you deserve it. But for now, I'll bring you back up to a state of full and present awareness. And we'll do this through a ceremony. It's unnecessary if you choose to do so. You can just open your eyes, take in a good deep breath, and come back up to a full and present awareness as you are. But I'll count you up from 1 to 5 so that you can have a really, really wonderful experience of it. So on 1 now, feeling absolutely wonderful, feeling like your best friend, feeling wondrous. On 2 now, to be the finest version of yourself, to look after yourself in ways that you didn't even think were possible in the past. On 3, feeling as free can be, as free as a bird, free to be yourself, free to look after yourself in the most essential way every single time that you go through this process. On 4 now, for you to express yourself in the ways which are best for you in this moment in time. On 4, fresh spring water is bathing through your eyes, sending you a sensation of wonderment, a sense of excitement. On 5, taking in a good deep breath, opening your eyes, welcoming back to a state of full and present awareness. As whether we've got rain or snow just beginning outside, I'm not sure, but if you're in the European time zone, obviously then have a fantastic evening looking after yourself. I hope that's given you the ability to sit with yourself, to look after yourself, and to be. If you're out in North America, then obviously it's closer to lunchtime. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much. I hope that is of use. If it is, and you want to get in touch, and obviously feel free to get in touch. I offer free consultations with everybody, so you can, even if there's, you don't want to work with me at all. You just have questions that you want to ask. Feel free. There's a link on my website somewhere where you can generate a 20-minute chat with me, and I'm going to do another 3 sessions in a few days' time to set you up for the new year. And this is all around the way that you conceptualize, the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you look after yourself. So it's going to be the opposite of this. It's going to be very practical. It's going to be quite kind of rule-based. But if that's something that's of interest, then please join me. I've segregated it into 3 distinct areas, so they'll be more bite-sized. They'll be cheap. They'll be quicker. But yeah, that'll do. All right. I hope that's been of interest. And it's quite exciting doing these live. It's a very different feeling to doing them on video. All right. Take care. Look after yourself. If you have any questions, queries, comments, write them down below, or drop me an email, or give me a call, or set up a chat if you are so inclined. All right. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.